holiday and a Merry Christmas. And now we're getting ready for the new year. So I'm going to make a really delicious meal tonight. It's going to be a teriyaki chicken, but it's going to be a Hawaiian style teriyaki sauce, and it's really good. So what you're going to need is 4 boneless and skinless chicken breasts. You can either grill this outside on your grill, or if you have an indoor grill, approximately 7 to 8 minutes on each side, or however long it takes for the chicken to be done. Now I'm going to bake this in my oven, so I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake it like 25 to 30 minutes on each side. So I will be setting the timer for about 25 minutes, and I'm going to flip them over. And let's get started. So these are the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need 4 skinless, boneless chicken breasts. We're going to use soy sauce, minced garlic, pineapple juice and pineapple chunks, a half a cup of brown sugar. Now I like to use fresh ginger, but I forgot to buy some, so I'm using dried minced ginger. You're going to have cornstarch to thicken the sauce later. Now it's going to be a cup of soy sauce. We're going to use chopped green onions as kind of a garnish afterwards. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is add our marinade ingredients in a bowl. So it's going to be a cup of soy sauce. And then you're going to have a half a cup of brown sugar, a half a cup of pineapple juice, and then you're going to put your garlic and ginger in. And as far as the amounts, it's 2 cloves of minced garlic, like fresh cloves. I'm using jarred minced garlic. And you could add a little extra or a little less, depending on, what your preference is. A teaspoon of ginger. Mine's kind of dried mint, so I'm putting a half a teaspoon. I prefer fresh ginger, but like I said earlier, I didn't get any. So we're going to mix everything together. You can use a whisk. And this is the marinade right here. So now what we're going to do is add our chicken breasts in here. And I have 4 chicken breasts. And I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for 1 hour to marinate these. And that's how simple this is. And we can use the pineapple chunks later. I'm going to cook this on the stove and get it really hot, and then put cornstarch and make it thick, and then that will go over the finished chicken. So I'll be back in an hour. This chicken has been marinating 1 hour exactly. I did lightly grease my pan with olive oil, and now I'm going to take out my 4 chicken breasts and place them. I'm using a casserole dish. Now it doesn't matter what kind of pan. You can use a casserole dish, a pan, whatever you want to use. I'm using a casserole dish, and I'm going to lay these out just like this on one side, and then I'm only going to use half of the sauce in the baking process. I'm going to save the other half to pour on it when it's done, and like I said, I'll thicken the sauce like with a cornstarch. So I'm going to use half of this, and there are recipes where you could cook this at a higher temp and cook it for lesser time. I prefer to cook this at a lower temp, like 350 or even 325, but I prefer a lower temp. I just prefer cooking it slower. Now if you're going to grill it, that's a whole nother ball game. So now I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to put this in my 350 degree oven, preheated oven, for about 25 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them over and bake them for the remainder. So while the chicken is baking, I have a tablespoon of both water and cornstarch that I have mixed together here. This is going to go in the soy sauce mixture, the marinade that we already made, and the half that we didn't put in with the chicken. Now you're just going to cut up some green onions and some pineapple for the garnish, because it is a Hawaiian style teriyaki sauce. So I'm just going to cut up some green onions, and both the pineapple and these green onions are going to just be kind of a garnish to put over your teriyaki chicken. It's going to be really nice. So we're halfway done. I'm just waiting for the buzzer to go off, and then I will flip them over. Okay, we're at the halfway mark. So I'm going to take the lid off, turn these over, and put them back in for another like half hour. So what you're going to do is just go in and turn them over. It smells absolutely delicious. You can smell that homemade teriyaki sauce. So I'm turning all of them over, and you can see when you cook them nice and slow with a cover on them, that sauce won't burn. So I'm going to put the lid back in for another half hour. Okay, I just took the chicken out of the oven just a few minutes ago, and it is thoroughly cooked. It has to be an internal temperature of 165, which it is. I just checked it. And now I'm going to use the remainder of the sauce and just make it thicker with the cornstarch on the stove. So here's our sauce that we saved, and now we're going to pour the cornstarch slurry in. Oil. We just want to thicken this up, and this will be kind of like our teriyaki sauce where it's not too thin, and we'll put this over the chicken so it has like a thicker sauce on it. So you want to just stir it until it starts thickening up, and it shouldn't be more than a couple of minutes. Okay, here we are. Now I want to show you the marinade, how nice and thick it is. Just like if you were to buy bottled teriyaki sauce in the store, that's how it is. It's nice and thick. So I hope you can see that. So that's how we want it. So what I cooked the chicken in is for like flavor, and I marinated it, but this is the actual marinade that I pour over the chicken. It smells absolutely wonderful, and this is our Hawaiian style teriyaki sauce. So just find some kind of platter and pour this over just like this. It's really, really good. So if you ever want to make your own teriyaki sauce, this is really, really good. Then I'm going to take our green onions that we chopped and kind of just garnish it. I'm making a mess, sorry. And then the pineapple. You can either put this in your hot teriyaki marinade, or you can do what I'm doing, is just taking them like this. I think it's prettier that way, and it kind of shows off the yellow pineapple better. So this looks really good, and it is really good. So next step is we're going to taste it now. So I'm serving this with rice and a garden salad. That's a perfect complement to it. Okay, here it is. It's really good. So I'm going to take a small bite of the chicken. Really moist, tender, and filled with flavor. And I'm serving it with rice, and you can even put some of this teriyaki sauce on your rice. It's really good. So this is a perfect dinner to serve when you want something that's not real heavy, but it's really good and easy to make. So the pineapple's really good with it too. Really good. So I hope you give this a try, and you can grill it if you want, but I actually prefer it baking it just like I showed you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you give this a try.